Here we go, August Empties. I'm basing this mostly off my burn and melt theme for State Fair and Harvest. So what I did, I went around and collected a bunch of wax and candles and like burned accordingly to that. So I first up did cotton candy. This is in the Yankee Candle 2-wick tumbler, 22 ounce. I stole the lid from off of this and put it on something else. So fairly clean burn. A little bit of sooting at, here and there. Very light scent, but I just love the light scent of cotton candy. I'm hoping they bring it back someday in the future. But this was a 2015 pour. I'm looking very light, like 3 out of 10. And in companion, I burned this Mainstays. You can find these at Walmart. I do believe they run $3, maybe a few cents more. I had a little bit of issues with the candle itself, but overall, like wick trouble I had. But I didn't have any soot. The scent though was so light, and I don't know if it's because I've had it for a while or if it's just the way this cotton candy smells, but it is in the 3-wick. At the very end, my wick actually moved a little bit and got too close to there, and I took my wick dipper and kind of moved it back and centered it back in. And I think I burned it like maybe another hour after that, and I was done with it. So that was my cotton candy and the candles. Now I did go through quite a bit of melts and votives, and I just wanted to get through these because I don't know, I'm afraid they won't be any good next year. So you can see a lot of melts and quite a few votives. And what I've been doing lately is taking a votive and pulling the wick out and cutting it in half and melting it. And I'm having a great time doing it. So that, I think for now, is my new way of doing votives. Kind of like 2 for the price is 1. But while I'm here, I'll go ahead and show you my other votives here. Juicy watermelon, another cotton candy, melts. I had the raspberry lime, and it had like a raspberry with the floral note. 6 out of 10 I put on that for the juicy watermelon, and 5 out of 10. And again, these were all cut in half, except for the melts. I just put them in whole. And this one here, I think just because of maybe age, or it was just a dud, period. Saltwater taffy, kind of getting on the old side. And I think I mixed some other wax in with that to kind of eliminate that baby powder smell I always seem to pick up when I have old saltwater taffy. So that is that. Moving on. Then I went on to Bath and Body Works, and this was from, this is in the Harvest Peaches. Just really, it's supposed to be juicy peaches, blended cinnamon and autumn spices. I did put it, had a medium to strong throw, and it kind of smelled like that Pico tea, and had quite a bit of like sage, an earthy note. So not so much like the peach, but like the peach laid in the yard for a while. So I did put a 6 out of 10 on that. This is a 3-wick. I did have a little bit of issues with it. I think I cotton balled it a couple times, and I think my last burn, that one wick did start moving on me a little bit. But you can see there my messes I had with it when I was trying to cotton ball it. And then I did the juicy watermelon, the votives, and I put that they were like kind of candied and watery, and that's what's on here. I moved on to Berrylicious Fizz. Let me find that. Sorry, that's me making all that noise. This was from Sugar Pop Candle, Berrylicious Fizz. I did cut it in half and put it in 2 warmers. A 7 out of 10. It was raspberry with a fizzy note, and kind of had like a cotton candy. So there's that. I don't know how much these weigh. Probably, what do you think? 1.5 ounces. Comes in like the little solo cups. And then I also did melt her cotton candy. I got a blackberry raspberry candy-like scent from it. I would give this a 3 out of 10. It was very light, and she even notes it on her website that her cotton candy is a very light thrower. That's what I like about her website, her melt. She actually puts what she feels is the strength of her wax. Moving on to daylights, finding out I don't really like blueberry. So I did go through this one with the Kringle. I don't think I have too much blueberry left on anything. Blueberry muffin, 6 out of 10. First note was a bread, second was a blueberry, like a muffin, and then it almost had like a buttery, fruity cereal type of scent. Again, these just burn 12 hours, hence the name, you know, a candle done in the day. And their wax comes in white. Just the plastic container is the colored part. So got through that. That's from Kringle. Let me flip my book over. I also did spiced apple. I kind of wrote this stuff down as I was burning it. Now, some things were in companion with other things. Spiced apple, 8 out of 10. Notes, apple, and cinnamon. And then I also did the Cortland apple. This is supposed to be a Macintosh offspring. A Cortland apple is a Macintosh offspring. And it did have a sweet note, and I gave this an 8 out of 10. This gave me, like, wow. I said, what is that smell? And it was this little wee daylight. I just love these little things. They're great. You get through a scent in a day or 2 days if you, you know, choose. Or even if you burn over a couple hours. They last about 12 hours. So, and this one too. Really gave me, you know, a great deal for my money. I did a melt from Kringle in the apple cider donut. Light apple, cinnamon, spices, sweet maple note is what I got from it. I did put it, I cut it in half, and I put it in 2 warmers. What I normally have to do is try to flip that out and push it out, and then take the knife and cut it. And this, my apple was kind of like more towards the, you know, like the end of August. And then I also went through, let me check here. Okay, I see I did not write any notes down for Colonial Candles Fresh Strawberry Rhubarb. This is NA2 wick. Nice clean burn. Comes in 8 ounce. You definitely get like the strawberry note of it. I wouldn't say it's fresh, but maybe it starts out being fresh, and then like maybe the tartness of the rhubarb kind of turns it into a candied scent almost. Nice scent though. I really do like the fresh strawberry rhubarb. And then these 2 saltwater taffies by Yankee. Just sadness in my voice. 14.5 ounce. They're from the food and spice category. They were poured in 2015, both of them. This one here, I mean, just you can just see the oils. Just, you know, like why did it perform so bad? I don't know. I put down a 2 to 3 out of 10 on both of these. Just kind of a bummer, really. So, I still have some tumblers in saltwater taffy, and I might still have some jars in it. I don't know. Got through some tea lights of juicy watermelon. So I used the juicy watermelon tea lights to use in my wax warmers. Oops, sorry. Got through a couple of my Better Homes and Gardens fresh pulled taffy. These are from Walmart for $2 a clamshell. Love the scent. I have quite a few backups. Hopefully they come out with it next summer. So just an overall for $2. Very nice bubblegum like taffy scent. And also got through my Rose Girls and the Posh Pristine Peach. This was just like a peach scent. I actually used the bag over again to store some votives I had cut up. Because, you know, you're supposed to use number 5. What is it? Polypropylene plastic with wax because of the leaching of the plastic. So just a nice, again, peach scent with maybe like a little bit of candyish note on it. Very nice, though. Very, very strong thrower. I'd probably give that one like a 7 to 8 out of 10. this Colonial Candle Berry Sorbet in the votive, like the oval shape. 50 cents. I got it on clearance. Quite a bit. And I said this to Mark. I said, what a dud, you know. Nice, solid, thick, oval. But it just kind of like I just melted it, burned it kind of thing. It was done in a day. I wish I could reuse these for something, but what would you use them for? I mean, I don't think I can get the Colonial Candle logo off, but gosh, it's just, you know, you hate to just put it in the recycling bin. Trying to get through what I actually had in my burn and melt video. The Mulling spices, again, nice star anise, cinnamon, apple. Very nice. I like the Mulling spice. And then lastly is the watermelon lemonade. These are from Bath and Body Works. You normally can get them on sale for $3 for $12. And it was just watermelon. Lemonade has described it's stronger, I think, sometimes on like the watermelon, but then sometimes it's stronger on the lemonade. So just a classic of Bath and Body Works. So that was my actual planned burn and melt theme for August. I did have quite a few add-ons. I started out with the cotton candy first, and then I moved on to the saltwater taffy, and I kind of got tired of that. I threw in the peach, and so I went ahead and threw in this Colonial Candle and the old-fashioned lemonade. And let me tell you what, although their wax is sticky, and you have to wash your hands a couple times after you've handled it, this baby through and through, and just opening the lid, I can smell it. It smells like lemonade, and somebody put sugar in it. So exactly how it's described. Wow. Strong. I mean, it took over the whole downstairs of the house, and once the candle burned out, I put another candle in, and it just kept right on going. A 10 out of 10 on that. So I also finally used up one of my, what are these called? Car jars. I actually put it on, like around my desk area, just kind of like lighten up, you know, the scent of work. So this is a margarita time. It's just a nice lime, almost like the saltiness rim of the glass. You can get that. And I don't know when they're done. You can actually still see wax in there, but it's kind of stopped disappearing. So I'm going to call it done on that car jar. I actually have some plugins that are just about ready to expire, and Margarita Time is one of them. I went through a couple of my wax melts from Mimi Tarts. This Fresh Peach Cotton Candy Marshmallow Fluff. Sweet, gooey, peachy. I gave it a medium throw, so like a 5 to 6 out of 10. And hopefully, I don't know how long you need to cure her tarts, but I could probably waited because I was excited. I wanted to like melt some of that wax she had sent me, which was very nice of her. Also on the Apple Blossom, and Apple Blossom is apple with a hint of, like, well, I got apple with a hint of floral cologne, and I believe it's supposed to be have a sage in it, maybe. I'm not sure. So again, I gave that a medium, and you know what? I take that back. It was apple with a hint of floral. I'm mixing my notes here. I did give it a medium though, so 5 to 6 out of 10. This is what had the cologne note in it. This is Brett's candle he finished up from Yankee in Crisp Morning Air, 22 wick. It seemed like it performed good because, believe me, he is lousy with his candles. I don't think he does much wick trimming, and I don't think he does much, like, watch for soot. So, yeah, he doesn't have very many candles in his room. The official notes are eucalyptus, mint, pear, and sage. And he gave it a cologne sage note. So, obviously, then that's probably the prominent note is that sage. He said that was like a medium throw, so what, 5 to 6 out of 10. 4 soaps. They're all in the foaming from Bath and Body Works. I actually have a couple that are almost done, so I should have more next month actually. Nectarine Sun Tea. I have a previous empty where I had issues, pump issues with this soap, and it would just kind of fly over my shoulder. So I wanted to get another one. It's Sweet Sun Tea and Ripe Nectarine. Very nice. You do definitely get that tea note when you wash your hands and that nectarine note. The Liquid Sunshine, which I do believe is basically a dupe for Sunshine and Lemons. It is a fragrance blend of sunshine, lemon, sparkling yuzu, and yellow daisies. Basically, you get lemon from it, but not like a lingering lemon. It's a good lemon. Poolside Punch, really like this one too. This is sweet mango, chilled raspberries, juicy blood orange. Hopefully that's focusing. Really nice summery scent to have at your sink. Sunrise Mimosa. I don't think I put notes down about this, but yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it. It's supposed to be ruby red orange, ripe mango, and sugarcane. I would say I probably got more of a grapefruit and definitely a lot of perfume. I don't know where that comes from. Mango, orange, and sugarcane. But I only have one, so I'm glad I'm done with it. So that is my... Oh, I have one more empty. Let me move some stuff. Okay, I have to admit, my house is pretty naked right now. This is the only thing I got burning. My next video will be my burn and melt for September. And I'll give you a hint. It involves fall. Imagine that, right? But I'm burning this apple cider by Yankee Candle, 7 ounce, in the tumbler with the new label on it. Not very strong. 3, maybe sometimes when I burned it, a 4, 5 if I was burning it would say my apple scents from Kringle. Because let me tell you, when I first started it, I burned the apple cider with the spiced apple. And I said, oh, I wonder which one's throwing the best. And when the spiced apple went out, so did the appley fragrance in the house. So, but I just wanted to, like, you know, we're getting ready to start the fall season. You're starting to see everything out in stores, and the sun's coming down a little bit earlier. So I just wanted to kind of start transitioning into fall, because it's my favorite time of year. So anyways, hope everyone is having a great start to your September. And join me for my next video where I show what I burn in September. Okay, thanks. Take care, guys. Bye.